Krishna Mato, Krishna Pito, Krishna Dana Pran. Krishna Mato, Krishna Pito, Krishna Dana Pran. Krishna Samsara Koro Chariyana Chan. Krishna Samsara Koro Chariyana Chan. Divedoya Krishna Nam Sarva Dharma Sham. Divedoya Krishna Nam Sarva Dharma Sham. Shadhavan Jana Hai, Shadhavan Jana Hai. Shadhavan Jana Hai, Shadhavan Jana Hai. Nadiya Gojum Nityananda Mahajan. Nadiya Gojum Nityananda Mahajan. Patiya Chenam Hate Jivera Karan. Patiya Chenam Hate Jivera Karan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Can you hear me?
Hare Ram,
Garbled.
Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
There you go, Mahaprabhu.
Thank you.
Wow. I didn't get to hear anything. It was all garbled.
You,
But that's okay. That's okay.
you didn't hear no sound?
Nothing.
Rupa, did you hear sound?
Yeah, I had perfect sound.
Wow. That's okay. We'll do it next time for me.
Oh, wow. Why
Yeah,
didn't you hear sound?
I didn't get anything.
Were you watching the video? Maybe
I didn't see a video either.
you didn't see a video? The video was going on.
Wow, I didn't see the video and I didn't hear any.
Okay, let's do it one more time. You gotta swipe your screen, I think.
Okay, let's try one more time. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. This was for you, so if you don't see it, then you can't, you can't comment.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, so I want to make sure you're seeing it. 1 second. Rupa, you saw it, right?
I saw it and I heard it. It was fine.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, one second. Okay, 1 second.
Maybe me, Nayan Narayan, and I will be able to watch it together.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Jai. Yeah, we're all set.
There we go.
Nadia Gojumanityananda Mahajan Nadia Gojumanityananda Mahajan Patiya Chinam Hate Jibera Karan Patiya Chinam Hate Jibera Karan Shradhavan Jan hai Shradhavan Jan hai Shradhavan Jan hai Shradhavan Jan hai Prabhu Agai Bhai Magiye Bhikha Prabhu Agai Bhai Magiye Bhikha Bolo Krishna Bhajo Krishna Koro Krishna Shika Bolo Krishna Bhajo Krishna Koro Krishna Shika Aparara Shunna Hoy Loho Krishna Naam Aparara Shunna Hoy Loho Krishna Naam Krishna Mato Krishna Pito Krishna Dana Pran Krishna Mato Krishna Pito Krishna Dana Pran Krishna Samsara Koro Chariyana Cham Krishna Samsara Koro Chariyana Cham Ibedoya Krishna Nam Sarva Dharma Ibedoya Krishna Nam Sarva Dharma Shradhavan Jan hai Shradhavan Jan hai Shradhavan Jan hai Shradhavan Jan hai Nadia Gojumanityananda Mahajan Nadia Gojumanityananda Mahajan Patiya Chinam Hate Jibera Karan Patiya Chinam Hate Jibera Karan Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
There you go, Mahaprabhu. You wanted to see a video of Prabhupada, so you got,
Fantastic.
yeah,
I felt serenity, peace, and complete jiva right there.
complete spirit soul, huh?
Wow,
Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah, thank you so much. I love that.
Well, that's the
I think every one of our meetings should start off with a video to keep us
lined up. Huh?
focused. That's right. Keep us grounded.
Yeah, Prabhupada is grounding the whole universe.
Wow.
The message.
Fantastic.
What?
Thank you so much, Ramachandra Singh.
No problem.
I needed that.
You
He
needed
is
it.
so-
Everyone needs it. Not only you.
He is so cool.
Yeah, Prabhupada.
Wow.
And don't
That was
forget,
a beautiful video.
you can download Prabhupada's episodes like this by the hundreds on the
Wow.
internet.
Incredible. Love it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hare Krishna.
Jai. Yeah. So a question may be raised by seeing some new person coming from the street. Why are we worshiping this person as he is? They're giving him garlands, they're giving him gifts. What do you think, Mahaprabhu? Why are people worshiping him like in that awe and reverence and with that specific mood and way? And what do you think?
I think he has a way of penetrating our souls.
Penetrating the souls.
Yes. He knows how to get to our heart. He knows how to tell the truth.
Ah,
He knows how to guide us in the right direction, I believe.
what else?
Well, that is definitely the bottom line.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Narayan.
Well, I would say the main reason they have come there, the way they're dancing, the way they're doing everything, it's very pleasurable for them to do it. Prabhupada is a wonderful catalyst to be with. But the main thing they're looking for is a blessing for themselves. They want to benefit.
Is
An
it a selfish feeling?
No, it's normal. I mean, this is the Kanistadakari mentality. Why not? Everybody wants a blessing or benediction. What we're doing with the League of 10K is moving ahead with not the form or the charm and the beauty of Prabhupada, but the message of Prabhupada. But I agree with you. Seeing a video like that is so moving and so heartwarming to see, because while I was at quite a number of events like that, and experienced how everybody became fulfilled with love for Prabhupada.
To actually think that you were in his presence.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
many times.
Well,
Wow.
Mahaprabhu, you were also in his presence by seeing that video. No?
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Ramachandra. Thank you so much.
And now,
I need to be reminded. I'm still a karmi.
Well, you're a spirit soul. You're a spirit soul, not a karmi.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ramachandra, that needed to be said.
Yeah, let's not.
Hare Krishna.
The leak for 10K is not calling people karmis, this and that. We'll go to the soul. This jiva, part and parcel of Krishna.
Aham.
Yeah.
I am the soul. Aham. I am. Aham. I am. I am. Aham, the soul. Brahman.
So
Aham Brahmasmi means I am spirit soul.
in this way, the Krishna consciousness movement can save the whole world in its momentous hour. And it is.
Whether it wants to be saved or not.
Yeah.
We don't need to get permission to chant Hare Krishna. Lord Chaitanya did not get permission. He chanted everywhere. And if people didn't like it, there was not much they could do about it, because he chanted in every town and village. In other words, we overflood the land with pure the mantra, pure utterance of the Maha Mantra. We flood the land, or Lord Chaitanya is flooding the land, and we're being drowning in that flood. And while we drown, we chant, and as while we chant, others become drowned in the flood as well.
Jai.
Ramachandra, change our names.
Oh, yes. Let me change the names. 1 second, Prabhu. Mahaprabhu.
Hare,
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Jai.
I feel differently when my name is changed. There you go.
You got it.
Love
So,
it.
Mahaprabhu, Jai, we shared you.
Thank you.
Mahaprabhu's there.
Yeah, we have this person visiting Sacramento, your god brother, Bir Krishna Swami. And
He's there now?
he's not there with me right now, but he's visiting somewhere in California. I mean, in the Sacramento area. So,
Really?
yeah.
I thought he wasn't coming until Rath Yatra.
No, he's coming. He came on the 23rd, I think. Friday. He came on Friday. So, yeah, so he invited me, or his disciple invited me. So I'll go, say hi to
Nice.
him tomorrow.
Yeah.
Nice.
And he's going to tell him what he's been up to.
Why not? The disciples have probably already told what I'm up to. I'll just go there to confirm it.
Yes.
Excellent.
Very
Brilliant.
nice.
Brilliant.
Like, you're a disciple
Yeah.
of Srila Prabhupada, everyone else is a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. Let's have an Istagosthi.
Yeah. You know,
That's how it
speaking of
used to go.
Istagosthi, Ramachandra, is it possible that we can put up that Istagosthi description on WhatsApp?
Yes. Let me find it out.
People, I keep on explaining Istagosthi over and over and over again,
Yes, let me share it with the group. Oh, yeah, let me find it. Well, let's go over it. Let me find it, and then we can read it.
Yeah.
Why not?
Right now, but I mean, I'd like to see it on the WhatsApp page
Awesome.
so that people
Yes.
go there. Because otherwise, you go there and people put in all this nice nectar and whatnot that's supposed to be going to the Prabhupada site.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's the thing. People should chant Hare Krishna. They should follow the regulated principles. We're not here to tell anyone to do that. That is pretty much standard procedure for anyone who wants to be a follower of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and a disciple of Srila
Yeah.
Prabhupada. That should be automatic. Not, that we have to tell you to do all this kind of stuff. The Istagosthi is for discussing philosophy, clearing your doubts, all
We
this.
call it postgraduate study.
Yeah, postgraduate study, you hear something, you have a doubt, you have a question, you want clarification, let's talk about it. This
Yeah.
is not the platform.
So you go to the class, you read the books, you go to the kirtans, you do this, then you come to the Istagosthi with your realizations and your questions.
Yeah.
That's
I
so
haven't-
simple. But
I
we
haven't-
don't have to put lots of nectar in the Istagosthi for the very simple reason that we are here for a much more rarefied experience, which is arm wrestling, as it were, the issues at the core of the jiva consciousness. It's not like a class, it's not like a study. And in fact, I'm sort of like moving away from the idea, not from classes in the temple, but just saying, well, if you just talk about Prabhupada or talk about Krishna, or talk about going back to Godhead, or talk about Krishna's pastimes, those are all wonderful things to do, but that will not in themselves save the world, because nobody hears us doing that. Nobody hears us read, because when we read silently.
Yes.
So
Mahaprabhu
we'll
had
do
a
that.
question.
We'll read, but here we want to make plans for broadcasting
Yes.
every town and every village.
Jai. Mahaprabhu, you wanted to ask a question or you had a realization you wanted to share?
Yes, I haven't been able to chant 16 rounds a day. Am I shunned upon?
No. No way.
Okay.
It's a
That's the
gradual
goal.
process. It's
That's
a
the
gradual, it's not even a goal. It's a gradual process.
Okay, got it.
Just like you want to go to the Olympics, you start out by doing 2 push-ups, and then when you get to the Olympics, you do 200 push-ups.
Very good.
But you can't start with 200. Just start with what you can do.
Yeah, good for you, Mahaprabhu, for taking it on.
Thank you.
Jai.
Thank you so much.
Aye.
Hare Krishna. So what's the topic tonight?
You pick the topic. This is Istagosthi. What do you want to discuss about or you want to comment on?
We want to talk about sin, doing wrong, and how we can avoid doing it.
Oh, become a Kanistha-adhikari.
Yeah. That's the whole program here.
Categorically, a Kanistha-adhikari is sinless in principle, even though he may have vestigial sinful desires or sinful thoughts or stuff like that. But at the lower level, he steps in off the street. At the higher level, he's an inspiration to others in the Kanistha-adhikari platform. So isn't that right?
Sounds correct.
Yeah. So the Kanistha-adhikari, the secret of the Kanistha-adhikari is the 4 regulative principles. Why is that the secret? Because if you're, that's the distinction to be Kanistha-adhikari. If you don't follow everything, then you are not yet Kanistha-adhikari. You have to, and it's all a gradual process of accumulating realization and realizing that what is in the Kanistha-adhikari platform is not a religious ritual. It is my life. It is how I can become who I have always dreamed that I could be. It's not like you have to go to catechism or something. No. Or the yeshiva. No. You go to the Kanistha-adhikari because everything you do will make you feel better than you did before. That's the point.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
No.
when you chant rounds, if you chant 16 rounds, you'll feel great. If you listen to Prabhupada's lectures, you'll feel great. If you see the deity in the temple, you'll feel great.
Jai.
The key is to stay connected.
The key is that all the ingredients for feeling great are there. Supposing you want to go to, a lot of people like to go to parties, cocktail parties or New Year's Eve parties. Well, what are they hoping for when they go there? Aren't they hoping they're going to have a really good time?
Absolutely.
Right. So they think, well, but they want to not have good time all by themselves. They're going to say, I wonder if so-and-so's going to be there. My friend, is she going to be there? That nice lady, is she going to be there? Are those kids going to be there? They start thinking it through, hoping that that good experience will be there. So that's Kanistha-adhikari.
Yeah.
A properly run temple, and don't ask me to point one out right now, but a properly run temple experience from 4 in the morning till 10 at night, there is ecstatic, blissful life that makes you feel good. Not that you're doing it because you're going to be saved in the end, or it's not any cause and effect. Zero cause and effect. You see, religion is always cause and effect. You do this and God will be pleased. Don't do that and God will smack you down like a pancake. No, that's not what Krishna consciousness is. We are saying in the Kanistha platform, why not have the best time the best time of your life? Have the best time of your life as a Kanistha Adhikari. Why? Because the deities are beautiful. The Arctic is beautiful. The lectures are intelligent and well conceived and coming from Prabhupada's books. And what about the prasadam? I'd rather eat prasadam than McDonald's. Why not? You know, like prasadam is delicious. So one thing after the other, you say, what's the bad part? And as you get into it, well, I think there must be a bad part somewhere. I mean, nothing's perfect, right? I mean, there's got to be a bad part. But by the time you've done this for 6 months or a year or 2 years or 3 years, you ask you, yeah, did you find the bad part? And you say, look at you, and eyes of us say, what bad part? Everything is wonderful. There's no bad part. There is no bad part. The Kanistha Adhikari is designed to not experience a bad part. And if he does, supposing he gets some lusty desire, well, he can chant and get over those desire and he'll feel better afterwards, rather than just running out to Las Vegas and satisfying this lusty desire.
Las Vegas.
Or wherever, you know. Moron go, right? Moron go. Have you seen those billboards? It's advising where the morons should go. Have you seen it? Morongo.
Morongo.
Look at it carefully. Morongo. If you look at Morongo carefully, it says actually, hey, you moron, are you a moron? Yes. Then moron, you moron, go.
Morongo.
To Morongo.
Go where?
You'll go and you'll lose your money, eat food that will drag you down to the next level of hell, and be tempted by everything. Why not? You're
And die in a car accident.
You're a moron, so go. Yeah, exactly. You're a moron, so go.
Wow.
You're a moron, so go. Moron, go.
Wow.
Well, it's right there in black and white, isn't it? Actually, not black and white, colorful letters, even more deceptive.
So now let's go back to the Kanistha Adhikari mentality or the program, you know.
Yes.
The Kanistha Adhikari program, is it different from the Madhyam Adhikari program? Now let's have
very different, very different. The Kanistha Adhikari program, you're coming up to the standard of being able to worship and then even become a Pujari for Krishna worshipped as Lakshmi Narayan or Vishnu. Mahaprabhu keeps asking for Vishnu. Well, that's what you do in the Kanistha Adhikari platform. You come up, you see the Krishna with a flute, you see Radharani standing next to him, that must be Radha and Krishna. Yes, it is. But in terms of seva, in terms of the style and manner of worship, it's Lakshmi Narayan. It's why? Because Vishnu is worshipped in the spiritual sky. You know, those little twinkly little planets all over the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto cover. All those little twinkly are Vishnu planets.
But
on those planets, there's innumerable living beings, and those innumerable living beings are worshiping Vishnu with awe and reverence.
So you're talking about a Madhyam Adhikari, Kanistha Adhikari coming up to a Madhyam Adhikari, but that can be a Pujari at an ISKCON temple. He is worshiping the deity. He's following the regulated principles. Does that mean he's a Madhyam Adhikari, or is it a matter of consciousness? And
it's a matter of distinction.
Yes. Now let's work at that distinction. Okay.
Yeah,
so
because supposing the person is the top Pujari.
Yes.
Every motion he makes is graceful. When he offers the incense, you would practically swoon to see his hand motion. Tears are coming from his eyes.
Well,
And wait, I'm not finished.
okay.
Tears are coming from the Pujari's eyes. He sees the deity. He is fanning the deity. He's offering ghee lamp to the deity. He's offering, all these 5 items to the deity at Chamaran. So he must think perhaps, well, the next step is for me to see Krishna. When do I see Krishna? I'm seeing the deity and he glows so much that when I glance at him, I don't see marble, I see Krishna. So how do I see Krishna? Well, when he becomes Madhyamadikari, he's in for, he shouldn't be, but he's probably in for a shock. You know why?
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 You can't worship Krishna in Krishna Loka in the mood of Lakshmi Narayan. That is awe and reverence, formal worship. The formal worship of Krishna in the ISKCON temples is not Krishna, it is worshiping, because if we tried to worship Krishna as Krishna, we would go down to the hellish platforms for our offenses. We have
What
to
does it
worship
mean?
through the style of Radha, of Lakshmi Narayan, so that it protects us with the formality.
So that's Kanishtha-adhikari, then back to the Kanishtha-adhikari. So what is the Madhyamadikari doing at an ISKCON temple then?
He's not. He has to graduate from the ISKCON temple.
Okay.
The Madhyamadikari is guided by the spiritual master. And just don't imagine that Prabhupada is incapable of guiding us from wherever he is right now, which is everywhere. And the Kanishtha-adhikari is being guided by Guru. But the main thing Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says on the topic is that the Guru is passive. He doesn't instruct the Kanishtha-adhikari. Prabhupada doesn't instruct the Kanishtha-adhikari. He's there on the sidelines. Why would the Guru, spiritual master, be on the sidelines? We've depended to sit, like you saw those beautiful people with Prabhupada getting endless garlands, and they're sitting with him. That's not passive relationship to the spiritual master. Why is suddenly the relationship passive? Because in the Madhyamadikari platform, you become guided by Vishnu in your heart, namely Paramatma. Paramatma begins to guide you directly from within.
Wow.
And what happens, I've used this example so many times, but suppose you're a pujari and you're offering, you have a peacock fan, as you've seen in the temples, and you're fanning the deity. That's wonderful, in the mood of Lakshmi Narayan, of Vishnu. Okay, but it's not exactly like that, because when we make an offering in our ISKCON temple, first to Prabhupada, then Prabhupada offers to Gaur Nitai, then Gaur Nitai offers to Radha and Krishna. You see? So we cannot worship Radha and Krishna directly in the ISKCON temple. The worship we do in the style of Vishnu is given to Prabhupada to handle. And he's not worshiping Vishnu, he's worshiping Krishna. So he gives to Gaur Nitai, Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda, as we've been discussing. And this Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda, then they purify the offering so that if your thumb is in the doll, it doesn't count, because it's already been forgiven by Prabhupada and overlooked by Gaur Nitai. So by the time it gets to Krishna, it is as pure as doll can be, because it's on the transcendental platform. So now back to the Madhyamadikari. So the Madhyamadikari says, I'm a top pujari. My favorite thing is fanning Radha and Krishna. So now I've become a Madhyamadikari. This is my chops. I will do it. I've got a fan, imaginary fan, but invisible fan. But I will fan Krishna with my fan, except for one detail. Krishna doesn't like the way you're fanning him. The deity does, in the mood of Vishnu does, but in formal worship does. But in the informal relationship to Krishna, the last thing Krishna wants is somebody there waving a fan at him as though he's Vishnu. So what does the Madhyamadikari do? He goes, gulp. Oh no, how does this happen to me? And then he prays to Paramatma, please help me. I'm doing it wrong. I've done it right for decades. I'm an old gentleman. I want to become an Uttama Adhikari. I want to being a Madhyamadikari. And I'm failing. I'm failing. And Paramatma says, you're not failing. You're just worshiping somebody else. You're worshiping Krishna, not Vishnu. So you have to change the way you worship. And that change of worship comes gradually. So now when you're fanning Krishna, you have to take the guidance of Paramatma. Why? Because the same super soul that got you drunk in a frat party is now, after you become a devotee, is now guiding you to fan Krishna differently than Vishnu.
Okay.
Okay, one moment. So when that fanning of Krishna becomes rectified, then Krishna begins to experience pleasure, not irritation from your fanning. You see? He's irritated to be treated like Vishnu. He's not Vishnu. But he loves to be treated like Krishna. But that means one thing specifically, reciprocal. There's no question of pleasing Krishna one-sidedly. Well, you can if you're a Pujari in a temple worshiping with awe and reverence. I guess that's what our reverence is. It's one-sided, really. But when you're dealing with Krishna himself, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead in Krishna Loka, you are not one-sided. When you fan Krishna in Krishna Loka, if he's pleased, he will reciprocate with his mood towards you, which will encourage you to fan him more nicely until you get into a thing where Krishna is experiencing extreme pleasure at the way you're fanning him, and you're feeling transcendental ecstasy, and this is all being guided, monitored, engineered by Lord Paramatma, who is very glad that he doesn't have to see you in the body of a maggot looking for dead flesh to chew, which he has to then show it where it is. No, he's guiding you now in the highest form of bhakti. And when that becomes complete, Krishna wants you with him. The curtain of Maya goes up. You come into Krishna's presence under the protection of Yoga Maya, and then you can see Krishna face to face. Now, Ramachandra, what was it you wanted to say?
So, something that came to mind is you said, according to, not you said, but the discussion in what we're doing in ISKCON, the unnecessary gurus are at best Kanishta Adhikari. And you said that for Madhyamadikari, he has to develop a relationship. Well, the relationship is with Lakshmi Narayan in ISKCON. But they're not directly worshiping.
Not the Madhyamadikari. The Madhyamadikari is in the baby steps of learning how to worship Krishna Govinda in Krishna Loka.
Okay, so you made that clear.
There's no marble involved. There's no marble.
Yes. So in this way,
transcendental form of which you are part and parcel.
Jai.
I like where you're going. Go further.
So the Madhyamadikari, Kanishta from Kanishta is going to Madhyamadikari. Why cannot the Madhyamadikari worship Lakshmi Narayan in that Madhya Madhukari stage, he can be there at the
He doesn't
ISKCON
have
temple.
any choice. He doesn't know any better. He's learning. He's giving up worshiping Lakshmi Narayan
So
in
you're
order
saying,
to worship Krishna. You can't do both.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So maybe he's worshiping. Can he be a Madhya Madhukari at the same time worship Lakshmi Narayan without insufficient guidance? That's what I'm saying. If he has insufficient guidance, can he become a Madhya Madhukari or she become a Madhya Madhukari and worship Lakshmi Narayan in that mood of a Madhya Madhukari trying to...
No, the Madhya Madhukari is transitional between Kanistha and Uttama.
Like a middleman.
Yeah, it's like being in the womb of your mother. It's not a thing which you stay there. It's a thing which you experience for a while, you change, you evolve, and when you're ready, you come out. So the same thing with the Madhya Madhukari. He starts out just like a embryo, like a fertilized egg, and he keeps on going into that more and more, developing the relationships to, in the case of a baby, it's their genetic, paternal and maternal genetic codes, and the tissues supplied by the mother. They're going on and on like that, right?
Mm.
But then when the person becomes in a higher level of Madhya Madhukari, there is no question of worshiping Lakshmi Narayan. Of course there is. Prabhupada would go to a Lakshmi Narayan temple and offer his prostrated obeisances. Lakshmi Narayan is Vishnu, is God. Worshipable, fully worshipable. Just like you can worship Keshava, and then he comes as Ramachandra. And people say, oh, this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But he's an expansion of a four-armed form.
So the Madhya Madhukari is a transitional stage, but it's
absolutely transitional.
And it's, even though it's a transitional stage, it is certainly also it's a very high stage from the Kanishta Adhikari, at least, you know.
It's higher than, yeah, exactly. It's higher than Kanishta Adhikari.
Where there's more reciprocation from Paramatma,
Paramatma guides the jiva.
Yes.
Bhaktisiddhanta didn't say Paramatma, he said Vishnu.
Vishnu, yes.
When he said Vishnu is guiding, means in this case, I'm quite certain, Paramatma.
Yes.
Because remember, Paramatma's purpose in coming into the material world in so many unlimited expansions, including inside every atom, is because Krishna cannot, under any circumstance, not have what he wants.
Okay. So,
and because we are jivas, we're part and parcel of Krishna. We are Krishna. And we have to have what we want in our minute sense. So we want to be a material body. Paramatma comes with it to make sure that everything we want in that material body is granted by him.
Okay. So in this sense, we are talking about a devotee transiting from Kanishta Adhikari to Madhya Madhukari in an ISKCON temple or anywhere. But how?
Anywhere.
I mean, how do we see someone that, you know, we don't know he's a Kanishta Adhikari, Madhya Madhukari, or Uttama Madhukari. Maybe he's transiting from Kanishta to Madhyam, but he's not a Pujari. So how we as devotees we can understand?
Pujari, that's just an example that I gave.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't have to be Pujari, but I just wanted to underline why the Pujari worshiping the deity in the temple of ISKCON is not the same thing as becoming in his rasa with Krishna in Krishna Loka.
Okay, that's fine.
The deity is not, he doesn't have a rasa with the deity in the temple, but he's developing rasa, meaning extreme relationship with Krishna that is reciprocal and mutual.
But I'm saying it on a practical level. We go to an ISKCON temple, we see the Pujari and with their congregation members. how we can understand, oh, he's a very, you can say, oh, he's on that higher stage of devotion, Madhyam Madhukari stage. How can one see it?
No, he's on the top of the he is somewhere between the middle and the top of the Istagosthi stage.
Okay, so
there's no question of Madhyam Madhukari.
You're saying there's no question of Madhyam Madhukari in ISKCON. Is that what you're saying?
It's possible.
Okay.
But there has to be some way to do it.
That's what I'm saying. So how he might be practicing on by himself. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Because remember, the Madhyam Madhukari is, shall we say, horizontal?
Yes.
What does horizontal mean in terms of understanding your identity, should I ask?
Not understood.
What identity does a person have when he has a horizontal consciousness?
I am this body.
Who said that?
My dog.
Huh? Who said that?
His dog.
Did you say that, Mahaprabhu?
No,
Who
negative.
said it? Who said it?
Ramachandra. It was Ramachandra.
Oh, yes. Okay, good. Well, whoever said it, that's exactly right. The Madhyam Madhukari, the Istagosthi is always body conscious. But
What's Pujari?
Pujari is the person that is a priest.
Okay.
Like in the Catholic priest, the Catholic priest offering wine and flesh of God and whatnot is a Pujari. He's functioning as making the offering in behalf of the congregation to the host.
It's a Ridvik.
Mahaprabhu, you're spoiling my
I'm sorry. I'm still learning.
It's all right. It's all right. You can
No, it's fine.
You can throw a, you can open a can of worms.
The priest in the Catholic Church is a type of Ridvik because he's acting, excuse me, in behalf of Jesus.
I'm asking these questions about trying to get to that.
Yeah, we're getting there. But the thing to really clearly understand Ramachandra Prabhu is that the Istagosthi cannot be a Madhyam Madhukari.
No, that's what I'm saying. In ISKCON, we, the
anywhere.
What did you say? A Kanishta Adhikari cannot be a Madhyam Kari. That's a given. Yes, I understand that philosophical point. Yes.
Right. So
my question is identification here. Let's
go for the jugular.
Yeah. So right now I'm giving a practical example. We congregate, and in ISKCON temple they're singing Prabhupada tunes, Prabhupada beat, Prabhupada madanga. Now everyone is chanting Hare Krishna. The puja is going on according to the deity worship is going according to Srila Prabhupada standard. Now everyone is following that standard in the temple, right? That specific standard that Prabhupada wanted.
Yeah.
Now, so they've been doing that for some time. People are, some people are lower, some people are higher. So how can we understand, okay, this person here, he thinks he's not this body. I mean, and then he's powerful.
Whoever in the kirtan, you've probably never seen a kirtan like this, but the kirtan should be ecstatic. When Prabhupada led kirtan,
I've never seen anything like that.
Yes. Way beyond the bodily conception.
Yeah, I've never seen any of something like this, so I have no idea. So that's what I'm trying to understand.
They don't even want it. They don't even want it. But supposing a person is chanting Prabhupada melody, Mridanga beat, etc., in the kirtan, which is beautifully conducted and ecstatically chanted, they are beginning to touch on the Madhyam Madhukari platform.
Yeah, that's very rare. The way you describe it is very rare to have that experience in ISKCON or anywhere else.
Right. It wasn't that rare when Prabhupada was here, even
there you go.
were joining the movement, like Kaushalya joined the movement. She was sleeping on the beaches of Hawaii as a hippie girl
Yes.
Under a piece of canvas, and then she came to
This is
Los
very
Angeles,
interesting. Yeah.
and then she began to dance in ecstasy because there's no. Prabhupada said even a child can take part, even a dog can take part in it. But the chanting must be heard from the lips of a pure devotee of the Lord for full effect. What did he say? For full effect to be. What is it?
Okay.
Chanting from the lips of non-devotees should be avoided as much as milk touched by the lips of a serpent has poisonous effect. So when we were with Prabhupada in chanting, he didn't imagine that Kaushalya had only come a month or two before. When she heard Prabhupada, she forgot everything about Hawaii and sleeping on the beach. She was dancing in holy ecstasy.
I'm starting to understand now. Yes. Yeah.
So dancing in holy ecstasy is Madhyamadikari-ish.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. It's not ultimately solidified. It's ish. Yes.
Well, the thing, please understand, Madhyamadikari is never solidified.
No, I'm saying a Madhyamadikari that is fixed up versus a Kanishta-adhikari who's tottering from Madhyam.
Yeah. Well, okay, let me try to explain then the Madhyamadikari as Prabhupada described it to me. What he said was the Madhyamadikari is like the coconut, the hard coconut, a mature coconut, inside the coconut shell. If you shake the shell, it rattles, right?
Matura, yes, there's water inside, yes.
Anybody who has any deep connection with coconuts knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So you shake the coconut. So
Right.
what is that coconut inside the coconut shell? It's the jiva of the potential Madhyamadikari inside the material consciousness or the material universe.
Okay, in a coconut, there's the shell, there's the white part, which is, you want to call it, the meat or whatever you want, the white stuff.
Iṣṭa-goṣṭhī.
Okay, and there's the water in the.
No water. They're dry inside.
Oh, you're talking about a dry coconut. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Inside of a coconut shell. When you break the coconut shell, you get the ones you can buy them where they're dry,
Okay.
But anyhow, no coconut water in this case, or at least I didn't hear Prabhupada mention it.
No.
So the coconut is the jiva is inside there. What it means is the jiva is no longer entangled in the material energy.
So that's Madhyamadikari. Is that what you're saying?
Madhyamadikari is no longer entangled in the material energy.
So how can you see?
The material energy is, a green coconut is stuck with the coconut shell, right?
Yes.
But the Kanishta-adhikari is separate from the material energy, meaning the universe.
So how can you see that in practically? I mean, there's so many devotees. How can we understand this concept? Don't you have to be a Madhyamadikari to see it, or you can just be like and guess it, or how can we see? Okay, yeah, he's a very advanced person. His thinking is not the body.
We shouldn't bother trying to understand it.
It's going to be automatic.
We should concentrate. Why are we voyeurs? Why would we be voyeurs? We don't need to be spying on what another person's doing. What we need to do is develop this ourselves.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So one has to be developed in their
It
own.
doesn't matter. The guy next to you can be a Madhyamadikari, a very advanced one. You enjoy his association, but that doesn't take you away from what you're doing, which is developing your rasa with Krishna, not your worship of Krishna.
Mm-hmm.
You see that there's no comparison between rasa and worship. Rasa is reciprocal, first of all, and it's personal, intimate, and eternal.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So anyone who is worshiping Krishna is detached from Krishna. I worship you.
Right. I worship
Yeah.
you. Yes. There's I and you there. I and you.
I and you.
Yes.
But with Krishna, of course, you don't merge with Krishna, but the interaction is so intimate that unless it's intimate, Krishna is not going to make himself available to you.
Yeah.
We
I
shouldn't
mean,
think that Krishna's just sitting there waiting for you. This is what stupid people think. He's not sitting there waiting for you. He's waiting. He's not waiting at all. He's doing what he does. You are introducing how you want to, and I use the example of fanning because it's
yes.
easier than boiling milk or whatever, to understand. You have developed a gesture that is you to him, not you to the deity to him.
So one example, especially I'm going to draw from a material example here. For example, a mother, whenever she thinks about her child, she gets overwhelmed by that feeling of, oh, he is my son, he is my daughter, he does this, he does that. So a devotee in the Madhya Madhikari stage or in Uttama Madhikari stage, whenever he thinks of Krishna in this way, his feelings are, whenever he thinks about Krishna, he's already absorbed in that. How can you say?
He's absorbed in what he's doing as service. He does not get involved in sahajya feelings.
No,
in other words, he doesn't develop a sentimental relationship with Krishna. To give an example that is known by all, that Brahmin that was cooking sweet rice in his imaginary temple for his imaginary deity in his imaginary palace, and he cooked it, and then he's in his imaginary sweet rice in an imaginary pot over an imaginary fire. He was afraid it was too hot to offer. So he is meditating. He's just in a loincloth. From the British point of view, it was a naked Hindu, a benighted Hindu sitting under a tree. Actually, this is a Madhya Madhikari who is completely absorbed in cooking sweet rice for Krishna.
Yes.
And what happens is he is worried that it is too hot. So he decides, which is not necessarily always a good thing to do, to put his finger in the pot. And when he does, it's not only too hot, his finger is burned, the deity vanishes, the fire vanishes, the sweet rice vanishes, the palace, the temple vanishes. But what's left is the Brahmin sitting there looking at his finger that is red from having actually been burned. That's Madhya Madhikari.
So he meditated and then he had a result.
Well, it was an incremental thing. Remember, he was making it for the deity. Obviously, he didn't just make sweet rice for the deity. He had a relationship.
But he was making it in his mind, though. He was,
Oh, yeah, totally in his mind.
Yeah. So what's the difference between Mother Yashoda thinking about Krishna and her breasts getting filled with milk? I mean, or
well, because the difference is she's not a Madhya Madhikari. She's an Uttama Adhikari.
But she's an Uttama Madhikari, but this feeling of feeding Krishna or doing some service for Krishna automatically.
Yes, but the point I want to emphasize, you're hot on the trail. The point I would like to emphasize is reciprocal.
Well, isn't that reciprocation? Mother Yashoda?
There is no Mother Yashoda without Krishna. There's no baby Krishna without Mother Yashoda.
So you're saying, okay, Mother Yashoda is there, Krishna is there. Here.
Yes. And what they do together is their rasa. Rasa means relishable relationship. We cannot imagine rasa. We think I met married and our wedding night, well, what a rasa that was, We can say like we can say like that, We can experience these things, but they're in the body. That really got me because I was
Yeah. You told us about that. Yeah.
Jim Morrison's ex-girlfriend. It's like the body is not where it's at. The mind, and we cannot touch the mind with each other. And then the mind, what about beyond the mind? You see? So that's what this is in Krishna Loka, is beyond the mind, beyond the body, beyond the mind. Hard for us to imagine, but that's what it is.
Huh. Yeah, it seems like I'm trying to get a conception of it, but it's elusive.
Well, the conception is simple, like you said, like a mother with a baby.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A mother with
And the baby was a mother.
Yeah.
But imagine how crude that is, body to body, touch to touch.
No, I'm not talking about the body to body. I'm talking about that feeling that comes up, that exchange, the emotion.
Well,
that is what brings up that it's body.
The thing to remember, though, if you're fanning Krishna, it's not an emotional thing.
That's what I'm saying.
You're cooling Krishna by fanning him in such a way that he experiences extreme pleasure.
Yes.
There's no feeling there. It's an experience of extreme pleasure of being fanned.
Yeah.
And the extreme pleasure you get when you feel that Krishna's pleasure is, you see, here's the trick. When you fan Krishna, supposing you can fan Krishna for 15 whole minutes in a way that he absolutely loves, is relishing the feeling of being fanned, not the emotion of you fanning him. The experience, the kinetic experience of being fanned gives him a kinetic pleasure. That hand in his hand fanning me gives me pleasure.
Gives you pleasure. The guy that's but
no, I'm talking about Krishna feeling pleasure.
Yeah, Krishna feeling pleasure and you get no pleasure? Is that what you're saying?
You get satisfaction.
Okay. So how is this?
No, if you get pleasure, then you're trying to be Krishna.
So you get satisfaction. Okay. So
yeah. So you get the point. When Krishna experiences pleasure from you fanning him, then he reciprocates to you emotionally, including you. Remember, Krishna's God, not me. I'm not God fanning an idol. It's Krishna's God, completely flexible in every aspect of his existence. And if you can please him with your fanning of your peacock fan, and he experiences pleasure, guess how you experience pleasure? I'll tell you, because you're part and parcel of Krishna.
Mm-hmm.
If he experiences pleasure from you, then you as part and parcel are experiencing reciprocally his pleasure. But we don't try to get pleasure from, the gopis don't try to get pleasure from worshiping Krishna, I assure you of that. They want Krishna to have pleasure being worshipped by them. So much so that when Krishna had a headache in that wonderful play that Prabhupada danced afterwards on the stage, and the deities danced, and I had to hold them with my both arms in Bombay, same Bombay deities, when they didn't care if they went to hell, if it would cure Krishna's headache. Where's the pleasure for the gopis in that? Going to hell? That's not much fun. But if they could cure Krishna's headache with the dust from their feet, that was the essence of their bhakti. How did they know? Because Krishna, it was said, Krishna said, or someone said, that the only thing that will give him relieve his headache is the dust of the feet of his devotees. Yeah. So that is what we do. Otherwise, we are simply imitators, sahajas, sentimentalists. Oh, Krishna is so beautiful. I think he's so nice. And I think he thinks I'm nice too. No, that is absolute crock of you know what. No, we want to give satisfaction to the deity, pleasure to the deity. But now we're not talking about the deity. Yes, we do that to the deity. And that's the Istagosthi Pujari can have tears in his eyes while he's giving
we're talking about
to the deity.
no.
We're talking about Krishna in his original Swarup, not in the form of marble. Of course, Krishna's Swarup is in the form of marble. If you have eyes to see him,
Right.
said,
yes.
If you, when the small deities of Los Angeles were installed, in La Cienega Boulevard, when he installed them, he said, this is Krishna. If you treat them as brass, they will remain brass forever.
Mm-hmm.
But if you please them, they will speak to you.
Try.
So you can see Krishna is inside of the brass. He is the brass. I mean, it's this very multifaceted reality.
Yes.
Is Krishna brass?
Or is
Well,
it
if he's
marble?
a deity, Krishna is, yeah, sure, why not? Krishna can be anything. He is everything.
He
He
can be
can be
stone,
brass.
yeah.
But then again, no. Is he made of brass, Krishna? No. He is Satchidananda. Well,
Right.
is brass made of Satchidananda? No.
No?
But what about the deity? The deity is Krishna.
Yeah.
Oh, so the Krishna deity made of brass is Satchidananda. You're getting warmer, getting closer. You see, that's the complication that Prabhupada brought up when he installed the deities. He gave us, what he did was he gave us the option, the opportunity, the window to see the brass deities as Krishna, not as brass. Okay, now these are deities. And
Yes.
we've been talking about the Pujari and the deities. Let's go back to Krishna in his original form. In his original form, he plays with cowherd boys, right?
Yes. Yes.
He dances with gopis. He drinks milk from Aliyah Soda's custom cultured milk from her breast. Milk what no one else can drink but Krishna, because only Krishna could. It's custom made for Krishna by her breast. So the question then goes that when you see Krishna, you're not going to go up there and see Krishna and say, hey, may I fan you? You start fanning in the dark. Oh yes, I was saying the coconut shell. When you begin to develop a rasa with Krishna, you gradually develop a spiritual body. Presumably, if you're fanning him, you're starting with your fingers in your arm, and it sort of spreads from there. But you're in this body as a Kanistadakari, and you begin to transform under the guidance of Paramatma, the same Paramatma that gives the maggots rotten food. You're being brought along by the exchange through the dark curtain of Maya. So now, instead of seeing a hard coconut inside a coconut shell, why not see a big coconut shell, dark as anything inside, like the universe? And what you're doing is, like you've seen this is done sometimes in vaudeville, whatnot, where you mimic each other as though that it's through a mirror. So there you are, fanning a Krishna that you cannot see. Got it? You're psychically, emotionally, spiritually fanning Krishna. And either he likes what you're doing or he doesn't. He's not obliged to like what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, if you offer something weird to the deity, through Prabhupada, through Lord Chaitanya, and Nityananda, through through Lakshmi Narayan, he will accept all sorts of weird stuff. Namely, everything we offer to Krishna is weird compared to Krishna Loka, right? So, here we have Here we have a person in a dark space called the material universe. Doubt it? Look out the window. Okay, you'll see it. So anyhow, there you are inside this dark place, and you're worshiping with a fan. Not necessarily a physical fan. You psychologically have a psychological fan in your head, just like the Brahmin was cooking sweet rice without a pot and without a fire, without rice. So you don't have a fan in your head when you're worshiping Krishna. You develop a fan, and you develop a hand to hold the fan. And Paramatma helps you do that. So as you begin to offer this through the darkness to Paramatma and to Krishna, Govinda, either he likes it or he doesn't. Face the fact. He'll either like it or he won't. He is not sentimentally obliged to like what you want to do for him. This is where so much garbage is there in ISKCON too. It's not like that at all. You offer, and if he likes it, he likes it. If he doesn't like it, he moves away and shudders, or it doesn't even affect him. But the more that he likes that gesture of your invisible fan in your dark material universe, that you're then begging Paramatma to guide you to do, and you're doing that, the purpose of the guru is to keep you from falling down, because you can still condition soul as a Madhyamadikari. Thought I'd toss that in. But anyhow, then you're worshiping. Now what happens to the time when you get to the point where your head is there, your arms are there, the fan is there, your clothes are there, and it becomes more and more beautiful and gorgeous how you look as you worship Krishna, not because you're trying to look gorgeous, but because you cannot not look gorgeous when you're fanning Krishna. So this is Paramatma again, guides you to be the person that can fan Krishna if you perfect it by perfecting your devotee, your relationship with Krishna. Must be perfected. So when that happens, and Krishna finally feels the delight and pleasure of your fanning him, and you are standing there in that dark universe, a resident of Krishna Loka by all appearances. Then Prabhupada said, and he went like this, the curtain of Maya rolls up. You come under the protection of Yogamaya, and then you can see Krishna face to face. Now, when that happens, you are bonded to Krishna by your unalloyed, anti-selfish gestures, that you are offering your entire existence to Krishna, which isn't all that surprising considering that you're part and parcel of Krishna. If you offer all of yourself to Krishna, that's called normal, not extraordinary or exciting or different or advanced. No, that's normal. That's the way you started out before you decided to come to the material world, or the way I decided to come to the material. You don't have to do that. So you become in that merged condition with Krishna, not merged with Krishna, but I mean, rasa means interactive relationship with Krishna. And how much? Fanning. Well, that doesn't have to just be fanning. That's just the example I'm giving. You eventually may end up one of his servants or one of his coward boyfriends or something like that as you develop more and more and more in reciprocation with him on the transcendental platform. So he said the curtain of Maya rolls up. You come under the protection of Yogamaya. What is Yogamaya? Let me refresh my own memory. Yogamaya is the Maya, or the Maya means illusion, but Yogamaya is illusion in the presence of no illusion. But what is that illusion? That illusion is Mother Yasoda sees baby Krishna and gives him milk. He does not think he's a teenager dancing with other people's wives in the forest on the full moon. Yogamaya gives her rasa with Krishna, and Yogamaya will give you your rasa with Krishna. You see? And people that want to become gurus, they have to have gone through that, and more so, they have to go through it and be great residents of Krishna Loka, and then be asked by Krishna to come down to be a guru. That's what it takes to be a guru. That looking now through our perspectives, or our binoculars, standing in Krishna Loka as we can, we look down on planet Earth into a ISKCON temple, and some guy is there saying, I am your spiritual master. My God. I don't know what happens in Krishna Loka. I don't think they laugh. They probably just groaned. Okay?
Jai, Jai.
Did
Hare
you get it
Krishna.
all? Did you get all of it?
One, piece by piece, all of it, yes.
Piece by
Yeah.
piece.
Yeah. Well, those are pieces. It's all one thing.
Okay, Mahaprabhu, anything you want to discuss? We're coming up to time now.
We
No,
are?
it's
only 9:30.
I'm very happy to be part of this discussion. I think it's tremendous.
Yeah. Ask questions. Share your realizations. It's not just a one way. You ask. If you need clarification.
You saw that picture? You just saw that flash, that picture of me carrying Prabhupada up to Barshana to see Radharani's birthplace?
What's a Pujari?
Yes. I'm
Pujari.
Pujari. We've gone over that. A Pujari is a person that is like the priest that worships the deity.
Like a Ridvik.
No, that Ritvik is initiating.
Okay.
So there I am. If you look very carefully in the corner, you'll see Prabhupada, or parts of him. And I'm carrying him up the stairs like that.
Where were you at that point? Where were you?
Next to near Vrindavan, between Vrindavan and Govardhan Hill is a loka called Barshana. And
India?
that is for, oh yes, Vrindavan's in India, or appears to be in India.
How did you get there?
I hate to say it, but I got on an airplane. I didn't levitate. Although it felt like levitating as I was going there.
Wow. How long were you there for?
Well, I was there for on this particular juncture, I got there in 71 and I left in late 73.
How old were you in that picture?
Me?
Yes, sir.
I'm eternal.
Hare Krishna.
Oh, you mean my body?
Your body.
Yeah, okay. That's
30?
About 31.
Fantastic.
I would be in the club with Ramachandra and all the others. So what I'd like to say is that Abhinandan has a, I'm younger here in this picture. So Abhinandan has one of those things that he presents and you keep clicking through it. In it, there's a lot of pictures of me carrying Prabhupada up stairs to Barshana. Which I'd never seen before. All I've ever seen is this one picture that you have.
Fantastic.
But they're movies, so they're hard to track because you stop it and you've got something else. But anyhow, I just thought I'd mention. So I know I went on for quite a long time, but did you get the gist of what it is to become a Madhyamadikari.
You have to be a Kanistha first.
Well, yes. That you become a Kanistha by simply, the simplest way to become a Kanistha is to move into an ISKCON temple and live there.
Can we say
Other
it's
than that, you have to replicate all the elements of the ISKCON temple in your house.
can we say it's a caste system?
Caste? No, that's
Yes.
not caste. Caste is material.
Mhm.
And
This
that's
is transcendental.
Brahmins, this is transcendental. The Kanistha is already on the transcendental platform, even though he doesn't act like it or think like it or talk like it, but he is, because he's separated by Diksha, he's separated from the Brahmins, the great Brahmins of the Vedic culture. He's above the Vedic, he's above the greatest history of kings and whatnot of India. That's what the miracle of it is.
What's
And
Brahmins?
Brahmins, those are the priests.
What's Gopi?
A gopi is a cowherd girl. Gopa
Oh.
is a cowherd boy.
Coward?
And a cowherd.
Cowherd.
Yeah, he tends the cows.
Got it.
And what it is with the gopi and gopa, the word is derived from the word go, G-O, or G-A-U in German, which is derived from Sanskrit. And the go means cow. So gopi and gopa are cowherd boys and cowherd girls.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. This is not the most exalted position in the Vedic culture. Those are Brahmins, but these are Vaishyas. And that's what we want to make with and Rupa Manjari and all of us together want to make Daiva Vanashram, where we have Goshala. Goshala means a dwelling for a cow. So the word go figures into this Krishna consciousness in a very vivid and eternal way.
What's the difference between Brahmins and Pujari?
Oh, Pujari is a Brahmin.
Okay.
Not all Brahmins are Pujaris, but all Pujaris are Brahmins.
Mhm.
That means a Pujari is a person that worships the deity on the altar, just like a priest, okay, doing the mass.
Okay.
But
And the
on
Brahmin?
a bit higher, significantly higher platform. And the Brahmin is the stockpile from which priests come. Just like the priests, not all priests do mass, I don't think, do they? Does every priest in a Catholic church do mass?
Only if you're a father, as opposed to a brother.
Okay, so the Brahmins are basically like brothers, and then the Pujaris are like fathers, equivalently.
Got it. Thank you.
It's not at all difficult.
Taking notes.
Not even remotely difficult.
Hare
Good.
Krishna.
All right.
Good.
Okay. So, to our online viewers who might be watching, we have this every Wednesday and Saturday and Sunday. We start about 7:45, 8 o'clock California time, Pacific time, and anyone can join from any part of the world in the iṣṭa-goṣṭhī discussion.
Yes, and we generally go from 8:30 till 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And Ramachandra Singh is a fantastic facilitator.
He's the boss.
Mamma mia.
He's like the Frank Sinatra, the leader of the pack.
Fantastic.
Or they used to call him the leader of the pack or the chairman of the board.
We love him.
Yes.
They fired me from ISKCON, so I'm here now. I have a better job here.
I'm one of the first members of ISKCON, and they fired me.
Yeah.
When I was initiated, there probably weren't more than 45 devotees in the whole movement.
Yeah. So, yeah.
But now there's thousands, so they can afford to fire me.
Yeah, we don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Fire, hire, doesn't matter.
So does I gave that whole dissertation. Now, could you guys get together and discuss this Madhyamadikari, and if required, ask a question of me or anyone? But can you just do that now? Because otherwise it's just me just talking. Well, why not try to see what realization is coming?
Madhyamadikari is the middleman.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
You can count on it as being the origin of the word medium.
Okay.
So a Madhyamadikari who's involved, or not involved, he's participating with Madhyamadikari, that transitional stage from Kanishta to Madhyam, and he's presently fixed up in the Madhyam stage. He's not a Kanishta anymore. Whenever he does something, he gets either a positive reaction or a negative reaction, and that Krishna is telling him.
How does one know when they're
More or
Madhyamadikari?
less. It's largely meditative. He
Okay,
doesn't
it's
do
meditative.
this. He doesn't run around.
Yeah, either meditative.
Standing an imaginary Krishna.
Yeah, meditative means that
This is
there's
all reflective in his consciousness.
So it's reflective in the consciousness, but in this case, the yogi got his finger burned, or this Madhyamadikari got his finger burned. So
yeah, he got his finger burned, but if you looked at him physically, you would never guess that he was busy cooking sweet rice for Krishna.
yeah, but the finger got burnt. He knows that his finger got burnt, and he has the understanding of this happened to me, and
how and why it got burnt.
Yes, so
but
the
if you walk
Madhyamadikari
past him in the street, he said, "I wonder how that sadhu must have been cooking chapatis and
burned his hand." Yes,
burned his finger."
Right, but he doesn't know that. Okay, he has an internal relationship with, on the Madhyamadikari.
I think that's the secret. Prabhupada didn't go into it in any great detail.
That's what I'm trying to draw out here. So
exactly. Yeah. So it's not an external thing you do. The
Yes.
Iṣṭa-goṣṭhī, because it depends on being in your body and identifying with it as a devotee body as opposed to a karmi body. The devotee body as a Iṣṭa-goṣṭhī is very easy to see.
Yes, that we can see. Yeah, that's.
Goes to the temple, does everything right, does everything. Okay, but the Madhyamadikari,
it's elusive.
Well, there's no way to observe it.
Yeah.
Unless you wait around looking for him to get a burned finger or something, but there's no way to observe it.
But isn't his consciousness reflective of the Madhyamadikari stage, meaning that he's not only fixed up, but he has certain. When you talk to him, you can understand. Okay, yes, this person, whatever is saying, it makes sense, and it's very deep.
Yes, but if he's practicing being a Madhyamadikari, he will not be very much available for conversation. More of a Babaji, I would think.
Yeah, that's so that means then in ISKCON there's all this baggage that we carry, and none of these people are, coming even close to the Madhyamadikari stage.
No, for God's sake, no. But having said that, you have some people like Gopal Krishna, you have other devotees, gurus.
They're running a business. Yeah.
Well, that's one thing. They're running a business, but at the same time, they have rarefied their consciousness beyond the raw Iṣṭa-goṣṭhī platform.
What do you mean rarefied their consciousness? What do you mean?
Well, they've isolated themselves to a tighter and tighter definition. They're not as Madhyamadikari, they're not as Iṣṭa-goṣṭhī as a guy that walks in the door.
But what's the difference? I mean, yeah, but a Kanishta Adhikari can mean that he can fall down also. So what's the difference between the guy coming from the street, following the regulated principles, and you being in the movement 50 years, being verified and falling down? There's no,
Well, yes, that means there's been a lack of Istagosthi. Nobody should be the fact is that no one who joins a ISKCON temple, no matter what his reason for joining was, should ever fall down.
Yeah.
And how does he avoid? Istagosthi. Because if everyone is jiva, right? Everyone is pure spirit soul.
Yes.
Is there anyone who's not pure spirit soul?
Everyone is.
Nobody. Everyone is. Okay. So if he is, it doesn't matter what he thinks, feels, or wills. It doesn't matter what he does. What matters is gradually in Istagosthi, he will come to understand that I am pure spirit soul.
So you're saying that, yeah, so you're saying
it doesn't matter. Anyone can, everyone should remain as long as they go to have Istagosthi. There's not a single good reason for a fall down.
So
what's iṣṭa-goṣṭhī means what again?
What are we having right
What
now?
we're having.
Cowherd boys.
Ah, okay, got it.
You know, but Mahaprabhu, Ramachandra is going to publish it.
You got to read it. Yes.
WhatsApp.
Yes.
WhatsApp page. Hopefully it'll be legible.
Yeah.
Got it.
So back to the stage. Yeah. So so in ISKCON you cannot get a higher experience than this verified Kanishta Adhikari guru experience of, this Gopal Krishna or Radhanath or whatever Nath,
No, of course not.
And anyone who's participating for 40 or 30 years, you can understand that they have not really understood.
Yeah, because the Madhyamadikari is in the process of developing an actual kinetic relationship with Krishna in Krishna Loka.
Yeah, here.
If he did, he would never tolerate ISKCON gurus.
Yeah, and the next thing is I've seen, at least in my experience, I don't feel very comfortable associating with these people because all body consciousness. I, me, you, them. It's like a disturbing experience.
So that means we have to separate ourselves from our body consciousness if we want to go to the Madhyamadikari platform.
Yeah, and then other bodies.
That's why you're not going to see somebody chanting jump in a temple and say, "Oh, that must be a Madhyamadikari." No, he's going to be very hard to understand because he can't talk about it.
Yes, because yes.
He can glorify Krishna. But you might say, "Well, he's very advanced." Kanishta probably,
Yeah.
You won't know what's going on.
Right. Because
And the difference between Maya and Yoga Maya?
Oh boy. Maya means illusion. Yoga Maya. Do you want to explain it, Ramachandra?
No, please go ahead. I'm thinking about Mike, the points you've been making. So
Okay. So Yoga Maya means the illusion. Yoga means to unite. You come to the yoga means you become bonded with Krishna. But Maya means that you are in the illusion that your relationship with Krishna is, your relationship with Krishna. He has a relationship with every jiva in the spiritual sky, every jiva in Krishna Loka, Krishnadas. Therefore, Yoga Maya means that you don't realize that Krishna is also cowherd boy if you're Mother Yasoda. I mean, why? I mean, she does, but I mean, it's not like she becomes carried away into that. It's not like she has an acid trip where everyone's on an acid trip in Krishna Loka. It's not like that. It's one step at a time. And you're in your relationship with Krishna, which is determined by Yoga Maya. It's like you're surrounded by Yoga Maya's energy, which puts you with Krishna. the same Krishna that is dancing with the gopis or is with Radha.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
okay, so go ahead.
So, in the Srila Prabhupada's International Society for Krishna Consciousness, it seems, or Srila Prabhupada being an Uttama Adhikari initiating thousands of people, has come to a stumbling block, which is the Kanishta Adhikari verified consciousness that you just said. And to get out of that verified consciousness, you must go outside, or at least leave that diseased condition, you can say, to a large degree.
Yes, but the whole thing is, when you say Prabhupada comes as a bona fide guru, actually I'm trying to shift away from that as the only perception. Of course he did, but I'm trying to shift that to his message.
Yes, the message. So now let's bring it to the message. The message.
The guru is not somebody that sits on a chair.
Yes.
I should know. I built the chair, literally.
So the message of the Uttama Adhikari coming down in a disciplic succession through Srila Prabhupada, it seems Prabhupada gathered to give that Kanishta Adhikari experience, but for that to blossom and go to the Uttama Adhikari stage, a person has to leave that association and cultivate this themselves. At least it seems like it. Or
meaning
that where does devotee association come in here? In the Madhyama Adhikari stage.
The Madhyama Adhikari, he's more isolated.
Okay. So the
Madhyama he could be in a group of 10 Madhyama Adhikaris, but they wouldn't be talking that much, I don't think, about their exploration, their rasa and whatnot. Yes. They would just be giving off good vibes and chanting very nicely.
Yes. So that's So that's what
it's like giving. It's really like giving birth. The Madhyama Adhikari starts out as an egg in the Kanishta level, and he ends up as a fully developed child or fetus in the Uttama Adhikari platform. The Uttama Adhikari platform is now a full-time resident of Krishna Loka, regardless of where his body is.
Yeah. So with this being said, the Krishna consciousness movement, or ISKCON, is stuck as an institution.
Well, because we need to go back to, and this is what I've been exploring recently, is we have to deal with the fact that Prabhupada's real function, perhaps you could say only function, because we could say his wonderful form, Swarup, was a disguise for what? For the sound vibration of Lord Chaitanya chanting the whole Hare Krishna mantra in the mood of Radharani. So if we're saying that Prabhupada's job was accomplished by chanting Hare Krishna, and if you hear Hare Krishna once, you're going to go back to Godhead, then there's absolutely no problem, is there? Because you don't need gurus from that point onward. And Lord Chaitanya appeared because the gurus had failed. If you want my current thought is, if you want a guru, that's great. You deserve a guru. Go to a Hindu temple and find a guru. Because the Hindu temples are descended from the Vedic culture, and even, 3,000 years, 4,000, 3,000 years ago, there were kings everywhere. There were Brahmins, there were yogis, there was everything all over India. But the very fact that the Mughals could defeat it meant that the system was gone.
So why are we recommending this, going to the Hindu temple? Why not tell them, hey, you have a guru already here. Here's his book.
Yeah, but if they insist.
If they insist. Okay, I see what you're saying, yes.
Like Matthew. Oh, no, I want a guru.
Okay, yes.
The reasons he wants a guru. Okay, go find one. They find a Hindu and become his disciple. And that will not work any better than it worked for the last since the beginning of the Mughals' invasion.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
can you imagine if you're going to have bona fide, this is how broken the system has become.
Yeah.
We sit around looking for a guru in India. Are you
By
joking?
India.
You're
In
more
this
likely
country.
to find a bottle of Jack Daniels in India than you are to find a guru. But the thing is that why are you looking for a guru in a society that is completely shattered after the Mughals, after the British, and after their own damned Congress Party?
Yeah. Yeah.
That evil,
So,
horrible,
okay.
exploitive,
Another,
that destroyed the last bit of goodness that the kings had. Maharani of Jaipur wrote a wonderful book describing the situation. It was heartbreaking to read it.
another understanding that I just got is that when Srila Prabhupada was present, these devotees who were ex-hippies or drug addicts or whatever, they came up to the stage of Madhya Madhikari, or not Madhya Madhikari, Kanishta Adhikari, and they went, didn't they go to, well, this might be a controversial point, that they somehow or other were uplifted to the Madhya Madhikari transition, where they were able to preach and defeat people, Mayavadis, all these great, Vaishnava Brahmins in India.
You could say there's a touch of that because
Yes.
they were inspired.
They were
Their
inspired.
inspiration.
Yes.
But it didn't take them out of their body consciousness, did it?
Yeah. So, a transitional stage is that you go up in the sky, then you have to come down also, So,
Well, not necessarily, but the thing is, that's what they did.
yeah, I know. So when Prabhupada
I want to concentrate on Prabhupada, the message, more than Prabhupada, the super attractive person that I got to put my forehead on his lotus feet.
Yeah, so in this context, we are talking about the message. The message is that they appeared, or they were transitionally uplifted for a certain amount of time, but then they disobeyed, and then everything went kaput.
Well, yes, this is, let's see, what is it? It's called para attachment.
Yes. So this para attachment.
You see, the point is that preaching is not done by the jiva. The preaching is empowered by the jiva, but is actually done by Paramatma.
Yes.
Who then appears to be the jiva preaching.
Yes. Yes. So the Paramatma was speaking through these individuals.
Yeah. So they confused their material bodies with their spiritual message.
Mm-hmm.
The spiritual message was fine as long as they didn't identify with being someone somewhere.
Yes.
When they began to acquire that, then they're back again.
Yeah.
In the material pool.
Yes. Right.
But we don't have to worry about it because all we need to do is concern ourselves to Prabhupada. Prabhupada embodied the sound of Lord Chaitanya chanting. And anyone who hears the holy name of Krishna once will go back to Godhead.
But then if that is the process, it may take some time, but we have to still talk about the three levels, Kanishta, Madhya, Uttama Adhikari, and its symptoms.
Oh yeah. But that shouldn't affect we don't need to be Kanishta Adhikaris or Uttama Adhikaris for preaching. Kanishta Adhikari platform is fine for preaching.
No, but Kanishta Adhikari is fine, but look at ISKCON. They've made a cult around Kanishta Adhikari.
Because they did not realize that the only thing they're meant to do is to have each jiva hear Krishna's holy name once. Now, did I share with you this notion that, how time does not exist in the spiritual sky?
Yeah, we were talking about it, how our conversation is happening in the present. Yes.
So if a person will go back to Godhead for sure, by the blessing of Radharani and Lord Chaitanya, in the mood of Radharani, then if people are going to go back to Godhead, when do they go back? And you say, accurately, Prabhupada said, it may take some time. That is on the material plane. It doesn't take time in Krishna Loka because there is no time in Krishna Loka. So it hit me like a ton of bricks a couple of days ago that the chanting, hearing the chanting means you are in Krishna Loka. So therefore, Radharani's success is there of getting every jiva. Our success will be to get every jiva to hear the holy name once. Even humans, as obnoxious as they tend to be.
Right.
But if we can get every creature, every blade of grass, every flower, every rabbit, every maggot to hear, not chant, but hear. Oh, if they hear and they chant, that's super good. Because you know what? The minute that someone hears for the first time and chants for the first time, then they're one of us.
Right.
We should not imagine we're more advanced because we took initiation or because we were devotees. No, it's the same. If one person who is a butcher chants Hare Krishna once, he's one of us. Now, if he stops doing that, then his one of usness goes away. But it's eternal, on the eternal platform, he's one of us.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Is Rupa Manjari still here?
Only she can tell.
She's on mute.
Is she on mute or she's not
Oh,
here?
yeah. Sorry, I'm here.
I really want
We-
to apologize. You
We
were
put her to
speaking so
sleep when
nicely,
she woke up at
and
the
then
end.
I got
She
into
woke
a
up.
Istagosthi thing.
She did woke up right at the end.
But it's almost time to end for the night.
Yes.
Yeah, we got 2 more minutes.
Beautiful discussion. Hare Krishna.
You liked it.
Loved it.
Well, that's what Jesus said. My Father's house, many things I have to tell you, but you are not ready to hear them
Yeah.
yet.
Those who have
Well,
ears to hear.
surprise, surprise. Tonight you heard them. Those are the things that Jesus wanted you to hear, but you weren't ready to hear.
Hare Krishna.
These exact words that I uttered are what Jesus wanted you to hear. Does that make me the second coming of Jesus? No. It just means that you're ready to hear.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Okay. So our last session will be tomorrow. It will end it for this week, and then we'll have another one on
Yeah.
Wednesday, and then maybe in the week.
I was hoping our Irish friend would show up tonight.
Well, his time is totally different. I think it's like.
Well, you know what I suggested is that he goes to bed like at 9, gets up at 3:30, joins us for 2 hours, goes back to sleep, and sleeps until 8 or 9.
Try. Yeah.
And that
Let's
way
see.
he'll get his, and
Yes.
he'll be able to do it all during the Brahma Muhurta for him.
Try. All right. Any concluding words, Rupa Manjari Prabhu or Mahaprabhu? Any before we end it? We got 1 minute.
Hallelujah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All right, then we'll end it here, Prabhus. Thank you very much for everyone for joining. We only had 4 people today, but we have an excellent discussion
Yeah.
on.
I wish Shreya would come back on. I wish Shreya could have heard this whole thing tonight.
Well, yeah, we'll post it.
Why
Why
there.
not send her an email or a text or whatever it is you send, a message? Why not message her and ask her that she should try to listen to tonight's conversation? Because
All right.
that is what she's ready for.
All right, sounds good. I'll do that. Jai Prabhus, thank you very much. Hare